Good afternoon, everybody. What's up, Chicago? How are you? Let's just get right into this. Who's got the first question?
I assure you, on January 28th, I will be ready. It will be one more in the win column, one more above the mantle, and one more for the bad guy. Yeah, the question is, would I grant Anderson Silva a rematch? Look, I got no problem with Anderson Silva, but I'm not going to change my schedule around just to kick his ass, okay? But Anderson's not going to fight me in America, in Brazil, in Antarctica, in his kitchen while I'm trying to get a decent Brazilian steak. He is not going to fight me, and don't fall for the hype that he is.
Gentlemen, there's a whole lot of wrestling credentials up at this podium, and I'm wondering who's the best wrestler? Who can say they're the best?
There's only one way to find out.
I thought Bisping was going to say he was.
I was going to say, I don't know about wrestling, but I'm pretty sure I'll kick all their asses.
Dan Henderson recently tweeted, all the injuries that keep Anderson from a rematch with me and Chael will heal real fast if they offer Bisping to him. Do you believe, agree with Dan Henderson that Anderson's injuries are fabricated?
No, I don't think he's hurt.
Mike, you want to respond to that?
Well, he's just another person that had his shot, weren't he? I seem to remember him getting tapped out just like Chael did. So both of these guys have a problem with submission defense.
Yeah, I'm a fighter from the mean streets of Westland, Oregon. And, I mean, this is the way it goes. Look, I think everybody up here is grateful to be on Fox. They'd probably say, Fox, thanks, everybody but me. I would say, Fox, you're welcome. You've been telling people for years you've got the American Idol, and now you finally do.
Thank you so much for coming back to Chicago, man. It's been a long time coming. I really thank you and Zulfa, Lorenzo, everybody for coming back to Chicago.
Well, you're welcome that we came back to Chicago, and when Dana and I made that decision to do that, and he takes most of the credit for it, but when we decided, we actually had you specifically in mind. So thank you for coming out today.
I grew up in the country. We had property. My father was a horse breeder, so we had a lot of chores.
No, set it up tight on him. Go, Sam, go!
I don't know how to play any sport or any games of any kind.
Get it, lock up, Chael, go! Get his legs, Chael! Get his legs, Chael!
After winning 2 Oregon State wrestling titles at West Lynn High School, Chael attended the University of Oregon.
If you could win the Nationals, you're the toughest guy in the country. If you could win the Olympics, you're the toughest guy in the world. Then along came the UFC, and that was the first and only thing ever that's been tougher than wrestling.
Chael began training at Team Quest in Portland with future UFC champion Randy Couture.
I was always trying to find that ornery streak in him for his fights, because if he brought that out in his fights, he'd be hell on wheels.
What's up, Chicago? How are you? Who's got the first question?
I know Chael's mentioned that the Anderson fight won't happen. Are you promising it would happen?
Chael's nuts. He's not the champion. He will fight Anderson Silva if he wins. He will not fight for the heavyweight championship or John Bones Jones. Okay? I have to have a separate press conference to stop all the stuff that Chael Sonnen says.
Assuming that Chael wins this fight Saturday, and to be fair, that's an accurate assumption. Sorry, Bisping. I'm just a big Chael fan.
Yeah, you look like one.
Thank you.
What is that sitting in front of you, and when did you win that?
This is the World Championship title, of which I took from Anderson Silva. And in this country, possession is 9/10 of the law. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, and if he wants it back, he knows where to find me.
Question for Mike. I was talking to Chael's boxing coach yesterday, and I believe he was being serious when he said this. He said that Chael is the best boxer in MMA, and I wanted to know what you thought of that.
Let's be honest, I outbox him every day, all day. He's a great wrestler, but I'm a great fighter.
I go to practice every day. If I have a fight coming up, I work a little bit harder. But that's it. I don't run practice, coach runs practice. I do what I'm asked of me. When I'm asked to go home, I hit the showers and go home. My skills are my skills. I'm going to bring them 15 hard minutes, may the better man win, and he will.
This question is for Chael. Chael, did you grow up watching pro wrestling?
We didn't have cable TV. My dad told us we couldn't get it where we lived, even though all our neighbors had it, and I later found out that we were just really poor. But I didn't have it, but we did go over to a friend's house, and we'd watch Sugar Ray fight. How you gonna deal with the Man of Steel, and how will you react to Sonnen's attack? Tune in on the 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will find out who the real world champion is.
We're here at the WGN Studios, and this is the original Bozo the Clown set with a lot of the original stuff from the show. Most of you people probably don't even know what that is. Bozo the Clown. 2, 3. Jesus Christ, I look red. I look as red as Bozo.
Welcome to Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. We're just a day away from a huge night of fighting on Fox.
Welcome to the weigh-ins, my friends. Ariane, Brittany, and Shondella. Dana White, without him, none of this would be possible.
All right, how about this one? Chael Sonnen, Michael the Count Bisping in a middleweight bout. This one to decide who fights Anderson Silva for the middleweight championship of the world.
Michael Bisping is one of the guys who took this fight on short notice, but there's been a lot of trash talk between these guys.
185.
Here he is. He calls himself the gangster from West Lynn.
That's the best.
185.
That's the best his body has looked I think I've ever seen him in the UFC.
All about that belt tomorrow, son.
Two of the best middleweights in the UFC battled for the opportunity for a title shot against the pound-for-pound best fighter on the planet.
Hey, it looks like Cletus has some competition in the robot division. I tell you, welcome to the UFC on Fox, presented by Bud Light.
He's very delusional, and if anything, I'm starting to feel sorry for the guy. He's almost becoming the court jester of the UFC.
For the same reason they put warnings on the pack of cigarettes, fighting Chael Sonnen may be hazardous to your health.
But I saw an online poll this week that ranked Chael Sonnen as the #1 villain in all the UFC. #2, tonight's opponent, Michael Bisping.
I've known this kid since he was in high school. He came through the Team Quest program up in Oregon. He's a tremendous competitor.
When these two get together, you know, not only do you get a lot of talk, you get a lot of action. You can see Bisping here, 16 wins by knockout. Both Bisping and Sonnen like to keep the pressure on.
This sport is about who's the toughest, who can push harder longer.
I come from a small town in the northwest of England, and I believe he won't be able to get me down, but if he does, I guarantee he will not hold me down.
Bisping hurt him.
But here I am. If I win this, I'm fighting for the title. I've been preparing for this moment my entire life.
You're only as good as your last fight. Michael Bisping's in a lot of trouble.
Dominant performance by Chael Sonnen.
The American, 2 years the elder of the Brit. Michael Bisping will have a slight reach advantage.
Michael the Count Bisping! Fighting out of West Lynn, Oregon, Chael Sonnen!
Gentlemen, went over the rules in the back. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight clean, fight hard, but fight fair. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Step back and we'll start.
In time, available on Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday.
Can Chael Sonnen take Michael Bisping down? We got the answer.
Sonnen really likes to smother his opponents. The one thing I started to say, Joe, when you spoke of the poke is that Bisping is very good at scrambling back to his feet.
Chael Sonnen with a nice knee to the body and a beautiful trip. But Michael Bisping will try to attack from his back as well as try to get back up to his feet.
Sonnen,
solid shots by Sonnen.
in such a smothering style, but again, Bisping gets back to his feet.
Well, another thing to consider is what we saw in the last fight with the weight cutting, how exhausted both fighters were.
Looking for the takedown again. Joe, you've talked about many times, you can't fight on pure emotion because what you do is drain yourself too quickly. You've got to stay within your game plan. It is Bisping with Sonnen up against the fence right now.
Again.
Yep.
And that's unexpected.
Very crisp with his kickboxing is Michael Bisping.
Yeah, he's getting some shots off on Chael Sonnen.
Round 1 in the books.
And there's a nice right hand over the top by Chael Sonnen.
Ready?
Well, Chael got him down a couple of times, but didn't do much damage when he had him there. I thought it was going to be more like this, more like what we saw in the Brian Stann fight.
Now, so far, things going more according to plan for Bisping than Sonnen.
Yeah, Sonnen looks terrible here. Stop. You know, we got to wonder if Sonnen is mentally prepared for this, if he underestimated Michael Bisping.
As he shoots for the power double. And gets it. Trying to get the elbow to connect. A cut under the left eye of Michael Bisping and a knee. Both men desperately want to be a UFC champion.
Watch your fingers,
the winner tonight will have that opportunity to fight the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
And these are all arm punches by Chael. Chael is clearly tired here. You know, and although Bisping is not landing much here either, at least he's the one pressing Sonnen up against the cage, and that scores in the judge's eyes.
Final seconds of round number 2. Big shots near the end. Third and final round. Oh my goodness.
There's that power double again, second to none.
Big takedown.
But he lost it. Chael postured out of it.
Go to the cage, Mike.
Waiting for an opening to get his hooks in. There's one.
Yep.
He rolls him over. He's got both hooks in now.
It is a bad place for Michael Bisping to be.
He's going to chase an arm triangle. Arm triangle. He's
there
going
you
to
go.
mount him.
Oh my goodness. How good is that?
So right now he's just trying to create some space. Chael's going to look for an opening. Bisping hip escapes and gets to full guard, down to half guard. And Bisping scooted his hips back, and he's wall walking right back up.
This one may go the distance. We're 30 seconds away from that happening.
Well, one thing is, so far, this is the most dominant either fighter has been in the fight.
Final seconds of this fight.
But he got a takedown. Look at that.
They go the distance.
That was a great fight.
Absolutely. Who will fight Anderson Silva for the title in Brazil? Will it be Chael Sonnen or Michael Bisping? The official decision is coming up next.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Chael Sonnen.
Are you not mesmerized? Do you not have chills going up your spine for the first time on Fox for you to be here in Chael's Octagon on Chael's channel, holding Chael's microphone, interviewing Chael.
Chael Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen.
Chael, you've been really complimentary of Michael's fighting up into the fight. Were you surprised about his takedown defense tonight?
It was 15 awkward minutes. I got him down on the ground. He'd throw a hook in, blocking me. I could tell, well, he wants me to create space. As soon as I do, he's going to get up. Sure enough, as soon as I created space, he pushed away. He popped up. I don't have a bad thing in the world to say about the guy.
Chael, when I spoke to you about a month ago, you had guaranteed me without a doubt that you would never fight Anderson Silva again. After this victory, it's all but assured that you're going to fight Anderson. What do you have to say to that? Do you think that you will fight Anderson?
I talk like this so I can get off the topic of Anderson. I'd rather talk about real men like Mr. Bisping, who steps in on 10 days' notice and fights me. You know, those are the kind of guys that I'd rather give media attention to. Not some bum hiding in Brazil.
I'm only getting better. You know, it was a close fight. It was a good fight. I could have won that. I could have stopped it, but I didn't. Well done to Chael, but this is not the last you're going to see of me, and I will be fighting for the title, and I will bloody win it.
I can assure you, having fought him and the alleged champion, he could win the title today if they gave him his opportunity.
Presuming that Silva does accept the fifth fight or the fifth challenge from you, what do you feel going into Sao Paulo in that environment? How do you think you'll handle that situation?
If those blowhards with their blow darts want to come at me, they can send anybody they want, but don't send anybody you want back.